Hello there, nice internet people. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite metaphors for brain chemistry, which is this idea of cognitive weather. Sometimes, for reasons completely outside of your control, things are going to change inside of your brain. It's going to change your patterns of behavior, it's going to change your patterns of cognition, it's going to change your mood, and there's really nothing you can do about it. For a lot of people, it's not particularly extreme. For some people, it's more extreme, but it's definitely just sort of a state of affairs that we have to adapt to rather than a state of affairs that we can control. And so I like to think of it like the weather. It's just the weather going on inside my head. And the reason I like to think of it that way is twofold. The first is that it makes the responsibility for the situation very clear. Because when we're dealing with something that is sort of internal, right, our own mental state, it can feel like we have this sort of ultimate responsibility for that. Even if we don't actually know effective means of modifying it, it feels like this is somehow my fault, or this is somehow something I should be able to do something about. And thinking of it like the weather sort of emphasizes the fact that you really can't. You can make accommodations, but you can't control the weather, right? So it's not your responsibility to stop the rain that's going on. Your responsibility is not to get wet, right? So make the accommodations that you have to make to be able to continue to go about your life while minimizing the adverse effects of the cognitive weather that's going on. And it does, the second reason I like this metaphor is it does highlight that need to accommodate, right? If it's raining outside and you go out in a t-shirt and you don't have an umbrella, you're not going to have a particularly pleasant time. You have to take steps. You have to first recognize the conditions that are prevailing, and then you have to take steps to meet those conditions so that you can continue to go about your life in a productive manner, taking those conditions into account. Right? So that's what we need to do when we're having unfortunate cognitive weather is, okay, I'm experiencing depression right now, right? So what that means I need to do is I need to really be hypervigilant about making sure the basic caretaking things are happening. I need to be making sure that I'm cleaning up after myself. I need to be making sure that I'm feeding myself regularly. I need to be making sure that when the voice starts really going on about how everything that I'm going to go out and do in my life is going to be terrible, that I have the countervailing narrative ready to hand that, hey, actually, that's never been true. We're going to go out there. We're going to do the thing. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great time, right? All of those accommodations. But what I'm not going to do is go, oh, man, this is terrible. I feel totally lethargic. This is awful. I hate this. Because there's no amount of being upset about the cognitive weather that's going to change it. It's just the system's got to move through. Eventually things will be different, and things will always be different, but that takes time. So just like the rain, there's no amount of yelling at the sky that's going to make the rain stop. Put on a raincoat, grab your umbrella, go about your life. So that's my favorite metaphor for brain chemistry, cognitive weather. And then with that perspective, then really what we have to do, our job, is to find out what is the equivalent of the raincoat in my life. What is the accommodation that I have to make to the sorts of weather patterns that are coming through my brain and affecting me in my life, right? It's very clear cut. I don't got to make the rain stop. I just got to make sure I don't get wet. And hopefully that helps somebody. Cheers.